nobody seems to be harping on the fact that we're talking about this man wants immunity for fraud.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, I get it. I get it. We're discussing the weaponization fund because that's just ludicrous and crazy. But the fraud part, why are we not talking about that? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Financial Fraud Friday. Uh, with myself and Kerrina, we are here every other Friday just talking about fraud and tax cases in the news. We pick an article and we bat back and forth our thoughts. This is our way of allowing you to join us in that conversation. For those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Nike Togba. I'm the owner of Togba and Associates, a tax, accounting, and advisory firm focused on entrepreneurs and professionals. Our services include tax preparation, tax advisory, and accounting services. Okay, so for those of you who are interested in working with me, I encourage you to visit tobandassociates.com and schedule a consultation. All right.
Hey, hi everyone. My name is Kerrina O'Connor, and my business is KAKE with a K Financial. We help six-figure solopreneurs who have IRS problems resolve those problems so they can run their business with confidence. Typically, that will include a tax bill that you cannot pay in full with the IRS or the state, and or if you have not filed your taxes for the last 54321 years. So those are the things that we help you with. We are a virtual firm out of South Florida, but we help nationwide. So now I'm going to go into the disclaimer. So disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. This is not financial, and this is only for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice, legal advice, or otherwise. Everything that we received are from peer reviews, from articles, from things like that, and everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty in court. While we are professionals, we are not your professionals yet, but we can be. Book the link in the bio. And today I'm going to ask Nikkei, what is the topic for today?
Today's topic, oh Lord, right on point. So this one was pulled from abc.net.au. That's where we got this one from. And it is written by a Alyssa Fitzgerald, okay? And the title of the article is Judge Rules. Donald Trump's settlement with IRS tried to manipulate the judicial process, okay? I'm going to quick summary of the article reads U.S. President Donald Trump's lawsuit against his own government over leaked tax records was an unparalleled exercise in self-dealing, a U.S. judge has said in a scathing ruling. District Judge Kathleen Williams accused Mr. Trump and his legal team of having manipulated the justice system when he sued the nation's revenue collection agency, the Internal Revenue Service. The lawsuit ended in a settlement that granted Mr. Trump immunity from tax audits and established a $1.776 billion fund for victims of alleged government weaponization. I do that because there are quotation marks around that word. Okay. So yeah, that is a basic and quick summary. Kerrina. Oh,
So we spoke about this. I don't remember how many weeks ago this was.
yeah.
Maybe a
So
month
this is a
ago.
follow-up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that was a couple of weeks
yeah, it was like
ago.
about a month ago with this whole thing. And I was like, what in the world? Like we were both just like, it doesn't make sense
Mm-mm.
for the president of the court or of the court of the United States in the executive branch is suing the IRS that is also part of government. It doesn't make sense. And I'm like, what sort of precedent are we setting if we allow this to even happen?
To
So
have it.
shout out to this judge for upholding the
Yeah,
judicial process. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Because
yeah, yeah. Her name is her name is Judge. Let me get her full name, Kathleen M. Williams, and she's actually in South Florida. Um,
oh, shout out to
yeah,
you.
she's the Southern District of Florida. She's a U.S. District Court judge for the Southern District of Florida. Um, and I'm with you. Shout out to her.
Shout out to
Not
her.
for
Because too
me, it
many
was
people are not.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, because we were saying, for me, okay, agree, disagree, whatever. My thing was shout out to her for for the clarity within which she responded to this, right? I'm not a lawyer, but um, reading her uh order, to me, I was just like, wow, okay, I'm nowhere near being a lawyer, or, you know, I like to think I'm smart on some good days. But you know what I mean? But reading her response, I was just like, man, this was very concise. It made sense to me. Because here you have the president suing his own administration, just like you said. It's crazy, right? So, a- and which was actually part of her argument, or part of, her statements, some of the statements that she made in order. She, let's see, I'm trying to find what she said. She said the nature of this suit itself and the conduct of the parties and counsel from its filing make plain that this was an attempt to use the court to provide some legitimacy to an agreement to confer immunity to people and entities affiliated with the president and to earmark billions of dollars from American taxpayers to redress grievances not defined in the law. Because of course, it gave him there were two parts to this. And one was the fund, and then the other was the inability for himself or his family members and affiliates and businesses to be audited.
Mm. Yep.
Um, so it kind of it covered, here we are, it's covering these, it's this blanketed, I don't even, like I said in the last conversation, my mind was blown. Do you know what I mean? My mind was
Yeah.
blown. And the fact that, whose money is this? Whose money? Where are you getting this money from? It's taxpayer money, right? What taxpayer? And so so if a taxpayer says, or when a taxpayer says, so why, I don't want to pay these taxes. You kind of are setting up the ability for people to respond very negatively if
Mm.
this moves forward, and there's a possibility that it could, because the lawyer who assisted in drafting, right, this agreement, Todd Blanche, could possibly be the next attorney general.
Mm.
So, I mean, and I felt like we're both speechless, but here we are. It's like you said, we're setting a new precedent. I don't know, the wheels are falling off this joint. The wheels are just what's up, what's down, what's left, what's right. Th- What's
Yeah.
what are we doing? What are we
Nobody
doing? And I,
knows.
and I do understand that in order for change to occur, the ground must shake, and people feel like there need to be changes to tax laws and taxes in general, and the fact that we pay taxes and how much those taxes are. Um, but is this the path to that change?
No. No, not at all. This is not about the American people in the slightest. This is a selfish act. Quite frankly, because it's to I understand that you were wrong, right? It's like the whole reason why this happened and this occurred is because his tax returns were leaked after he didn't voluntarily give it to them to you know what I'm saying, to him, because
Right.
historically presidents have just freely given their
Willfully.
tax.
Yeah.
Yeah, freely, willfully. Yeah, that's the better word. Willfully given their tax returns, and in this case, it wasn't happening. So somebody within the IRS camp, a contractor of the IRS, took it upon themselves to release it, which I don't agree with. Right, like that's still
Yeah, I
privacy and
agree.
things. I don't agree with that.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like I want to make that clear. Do not agree with what that person did, but it shouldn't be because of that situation. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sue the entire IRS. Like what? Like and one of the paragraphs says that he basically waited to sue the IRS until now.
Yeah.
So the infraction happened before, but
And
I'm
it's,
going to
yeah,
sue now as a sitting president.
yeah,
Like what? Like no.
yeah.
And then creating an anti-weaponization fund and all of that. Like it, and what we were talking about too, Nikkei was saying was that it's not just okay, we're suing for an amount of money or whatever the 776 billion dollars into the fund. It's also I'm going to have immunity. Why would you need immunity? Why would you, your family, your associates, whatever, to have immunity from, then on, or not then on, but from then back?
Back,
Why
yeah.
would you need, why would you need immunity? And we were also talking about because when, like, as far as the IRS is concerned, when there's fraud present, the audit stipulations are indefinite. Like they don't have any stipulations. The statute of limitations do not exist when there is fraud present. So are you inadvertently saying that I know me and my associates probably have some fraud situations going on potentially within my IRS tax returns. So
Mm.
I'm trying to make sure that I'm covered as well as them. But a normal average person is not going to be covered if there's fraudulent anything. Like why you as the president and everyone else that's around you, why are you able to get those type of liberties? That's
Why do
not
you,
fair.
yeah, why do you,
It isn't fair.
well, sorry, we are not dealing with an individual whose thought process is unfair. I do understand that. And for the most part, a lot of people don't care about what's fair. And I hear it all the time. Oh, well, life isn't fair. Go sit down.
Just
Wrong is wrong and right is right. Go
exactly,
sit down. Okay.
exactly.
So even if we don't say fair, that's not right. That's
That's
wrong.
not right.
Okay.
Right,
Let's please stop playing in my face. Wrong.
right,
Wrong.
right.
Because to have this expectation that, oh, because I have this power, I get to, I'm just gonna make these decisions. And the question that I asked you was, what you gonna do about it? Nothing.
Yeah.
Because you can do nothing about it, I'm gonna play in your face, right?
Mm.
And what she's written, okay, and the reason, let's see, she ordered because of all of the criticizing, all of the questions, all of everyone being very critical, like, what is this? What are we doing? What do you mean
Yeah.
a fund, weaponization fund? What are we gonna do? And I think this is the part that also annoys me about this. You guys are more concerned with the weaponization fund. Nobody seems to be harping on the fact that we're talking about this man wants immunity for fraud.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, I get it. I get it. We're discussing the weaponization fund because that's just ludicrous and crazy. But the fraud part, why are we not talking about that? Why are we not talking? Why should he get, because, okay, why should he have access to that? Why should he have that kind of the access to being kind of put under this blanketed state of protection, right? Because And I got a million thoughts flowing through my mind because what I'm hearing from Todd Blanche when you're watching the confirmation hearings, which for us occurred yesterday, right? Because we're recording at the time that we're recording this, the confirmation uh, hearing occurred yesterday. One of the questions he was asked is, what is the status of the weaponization fund? And he says, oh, it's moot, it's moot, it's moot. No, it's not, it's nothing, right? But then they ask, well, what about the part that covers the agreement that covers Trump and the fraud and his Oh, well, that agreement still stands, right? Because he didn't say that was moot. That was mute.
Right.
Yep. Well, right? He stated, let's see, she said, let me find that portion of it. He's basically stating, okay, listen, yeah, we're gonna hold off on that portion of it, but the agreement that we had to grant him immunity still stands. And if we do not follow through on that, his lawyers could argue that we breached the agreement, right? So to me, it's when I hear that, what I hear is you setting me up for what's about to go down anyway. You just
Crazy.
making it so it sounds, so when I hear it again, it doesn't sound as harsh as the first 5 times you said it when it really didn't matter. That's basically what you're doing. You're prepping me for what is to come. You're priming me you're giving me little tidbits of how this bad news is going to come down the pike. That way, when it does arrive, I'm a little desensitized to what's happening. That's what I hear.
Mm. That's crazy to think of. But yeah, the immunity part that's huge. The fund is huge within itself, right? But the immunity part, because at least, especially in my criminal proceedings, at least that from watching TV and all that, not a lawyer, but you only ask for immunity because you did something. You know what I mean? Like
Yes, right?
it's in exchange for, so like, oh, bad guy rats on bigger bad guy in exchange for immunity for himself. Like, hey, I can help you get the big fish, but me as the little
Ooh.
fish, I want to be able to walk away relatively scot-free. I want to have immunity with this, and this, me telling my side of the story will not incriminate me because I have to tell that I was doing something bad in order to get the big fish. You know what I'm saying? So you get immunity because of that. Like, why does everybody in his camp need immunity for
Because
tax?
then
You know what I mean?
nobody has to tell on anybody. Do you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? And if transactions are intertwined, I paid you for something,
Right.
you know how it
Yes.
is. You follow the trail of the
That's
money, you do some
crazy to
forensic
me.
accounting, you can follow it and figure out who did what with who,
What?
for the most
That's
part.
that's the problem, I think. That's not I think. I know that's the problem. Like whether or not you are the president or hold any seat, period, right? The law should be the law. That, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
the whole thing about the justice system, mind you, I know the justice system is not perfect, right? But the whole reason for the justice system is to uphold the law. Like the law is the law. This is why we have judges to interpret the law and say this is what it is based on the law, not feelings, not whatever. The law says this. This is what we're going to have to go by. So nobody should be above said law, right? We even have checks and balances, just regular civics, right? Even though the president sits in the executive branch, we still have Congress, and we have the judicial branch and the legislative Congress, and then the judicial branch to make sure that everybody has checks and balances. The problem is that checks and balances are going out the window.
Yeah.
And we're talking about tax now, like I said, with taxes, if it's a situation of fraud and maybe he should have paid more taxes than he should have, him and his crew
Good
paid
point.
even more taxes than they actually did Because I mean, more than likely, people who are doing fraud and trying to get immunity, they're not paying more taxes. Like
Right, exactly.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean.
yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah,
not paying the taxes that they should be paying.
yeah.
Um, we're missing out on money that we should have been getting to fund us. You know, we're already at like we're in a debt and we're in a deficit. Like, well, you know what I mean? I don't
We
know.
must not
Just
be in much of a deficit. We talking about 1.6 billion
yeah, right.
dollars to put to the side for
Have
some.
a random thing. The immunity thing is like huge. Like normal people cannot get this privilege. Nobody should be able to get something like this. If you are doing criminal related things, you should be tried as such a criminal. We just did a was it last year? We just did Twister was avoided taxes completely, and he has to go serve at least 5 years in jail. In prison, sorry, in prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the bigs of the bigs have gone to jail for not paying their taxes. Why is it that this particular seat in this particular like why is it that the president is not able to go through the same things that the other people? Why are we asking for immunity and it being granted to not just him but to his entire crew? That's wild to me and it doesn't make any sense. We're living in a twilight. So
You know,
and it's going to cost us. It's costing us. We always talk about money this, money that, money this, money that. This is costing us. This simple, as simple as you actually, it's not simple, but as simple as you may take this this lawsuit, this is costing us. So,
this is foolishness. This is
it
foolishness.
is.
You know, she it says back in May, Judge Williams ordered Mr. Trump's lawyers respond to grievous allegations made by critics of the settlement that the president abandoned his case to avoid the court's scrutiny of an illegal deal, right? So he abandoned the whole fund bid, so that no one would come back and say, hold on, wait a minute, what's happening here, right? So
Oh
he
yeah.
ordered him, you guys need to respond to this. Because did you just bring a fraudulent, a case to the court fraudulently, almost in a sense? And I hope that I'm saying this correctly. I'm probably
Yeah.
not, but so it says, the court entered an order on May 29th, 2026, directing plaintiffs to detail their position as to various issues, including the charges of collusion and whether the parties were truly adverse, right? How are you suing yourself? Are you truly suing yourself? Right? The assertion that the dismissal in this case was premised on deception by the parties. And three, the question of whether the case should be reopened because the court was a victim of fraud, right? Um, they responded, and in the very first paragraph, the plaintiffs introduced their claim stating President Trump served as the 45th president of the United States and is the 47th president of the United States. They then go on to state that President Trump brings this suit in his personal capacity. After a review of the record and the party statements, the court declines to adopt or accept the credulous exercise of divorcing President Trump's current job title from an understanding of what happened here. But perhaps the most startling misstatement advanced by plaintiffs is their characterization of this case as ordinary. The parties here are not private actors to a mine run dispute, recounting their proficiency in the art of the deal they negotiated. You're not separate
Right.
from, you're not separate.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did, you know what it is? You know what it is. You know what it is.
What is it?
I have a problem with people playing in my face. telling me that it's, you know what I'm saying? Telling me that I'm
Racist.
having filet mignon and I am having something else. Telling me that it's raining, but something else is occurring. You're playing in my face. And when you do that, I take that offensively because what I think you're doing and what you are doing is calling me stupid.
Mm.
You're calling me stupid. Why don't you just call me stupid? I mean, I would respect you more if you just flat out said, I just think you're dumb and you're gonna, you know what I mean, receive and accept what I'm throwing your way.
Mm.
Because you're too stupid one, you're too weak to do anything about it. You know what I mean? Listen, this is insane. This
It is.
person is this is and someone is playing in our face and no one has backbone enough except for apparently this woman.
That's it. Shut up.
Judge Kathleen M. Williams has the backbone enough to question it. I am not saying, yes, I am.
Okay.
Apparently, this woman is the only person with backbone enough to question it because you, that's my thing. Why is
Yeah.
everybody, there's always talk. Oh, well, he did this. Oh, well, he did that. That drives me up a wall. Stop talking to me about what said individual did. What do you plan on doing about it? Is there anything that you can do about it? Do you plan on doing
Mm.
something about it? Because if you can and you
Yeah.
won't, or if you can and you won't, stop talking to me.
Mm.
Don't talk to
Yeah.
me.
What will you be doing if
Because
you're,
you
yeah,
just want to talk. And I personally,
what's the point? Mm.
so I'm gonna
Mm.
stop because I'll go all kinds of which ways. So,
Mm.
um, I'll tell you what, I think ultimately, you know, I don't know if he's gonna be confirmed as Attorney General. The likelihood is very high. Let's stop acting like it's not. If folks want to say, oh, well, this can turn, that can turn. Okay, I get it. But I don't know. I don't see it happening. So
Mm.
the what I see, what seems to be I'm hearing foretold is that Todd Blanche will be confirmed as Attorney General. I could be wrong. Look, we can calci this. We
Oh
can-
Lord, don't get started on that. Don't get started
Okay.
on that.
That, he'll be confirmed as Attorney General. The fund will be reinstated and the immunity deal
Community will
will go
stand.
through. And you know what? I mean, the man himself they said, are you and President Trump adversaries? I'm his lawyer.
Oh no, friends, I thought it was.
No, he said, I'm his lawyer. Oh, maybe the question was friends
Yeah,
or
you
something.
said, yeah, I thought
He
it was,
says,
oh yeah, but I don't know.
and his response is, I'm
Adversary.
his lawyer.
Mm.
Right? Listen,
Yeah,
I guess we all just sit back and watch and just see how
just
this
watch.
plays out. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we sit back and watch how this plays out because she seems to be the only one doing anything about it, and maybe the vote and what is decided. People are doing little things here and there to block some of this ridiculousness. And I'm not calling it ridiculousness because of who the individual is. I'm calling it ridiculousness because we are just trampling all over the decorum, the rules and the regulations that we have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Um, So yeah, I guess
Leave people on a high note, though. We can't leave them low.
okay.
So
All
like,
right, well, let me sit up. Let me get my
leave them
let
on a
me
high note.
let me shake it off
So
and keep it on a high note.
something
What's the
that
high
they
note?
can. I'm saying something that they can do
Okay.
for themselves, right? So we're talking about the tax, and we're talking about this. You make sure you're doing the right thing as far as taxes are concerned. You will not be getting these liberties. This is unless you're in the Trump camp. Maybe you might, but more than likely, if you're listening to this, you are not. Don't get yourself caught up into anything fraudulent or otherwise. If you haven't filed your taxes in however many years, contact someone to help fix it now. If you have a bill, a tax bill, and letters that you have been ignoring for a very long time, and you might be on the verge of getting levied, you need to call a tax professional as soon as possible. If it's a situation where you do not want to be in a situation where you're owing taxes or have filed late and you want to make sure that you have tax planning and advisory, call someone and get a professional to make sure that you do this and you do this correctly and legally. Um, this is not your reality. Understand that this will not be your reality. Like, oh well, maybe I can.
Yeah.
You and him is not the same.
Yeah.
Like, respectfully, you know what I'm saying? Like, this
Yeah.
is a crazy situation and should not be a situation, but it will not trickle down. Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to trickle down. So make sure that you handle what you need to do as far as like political stuff and politics and all of that goes. If you don't like something, I believe you should be voting, and not just voting blindly. Vote for somebody who represents the values and the systems and the things that you actually want to happen. You find out who your representatives are, and you contact them and say, "Hey, I do not like this. What can be done on a congressional level?" You can call them. They have offices. Call their offices. You can email. They have emails that are uh public facing. That's not the word I wanted to use, but
Public
whatever. You
record,
can
but
go.
yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, public record. You can go. It's in DC, but you can go to their office if you're local to DC or
Mm-hmm.
happen to be in the area, or you can make an appointment to go to their office. I don't think you can just walk in. You have to make an appointment typically. Um, do what you can as it pertains to that federally. Local wise, you also have local governments that will typically affect you as well. Have that be something that you know who your representative is locally. So for this situation, you can name, hey, I do not like this fund situation. I do not like whatever. I am not, like whatever you can. We no longer have an IRS commissioner. It's a IRS CEO or whatever now. I don't know exactly how that works, but I'm sure he has an email and whatever so that you can say what your concerns are. I do not
Yeah.
like this. I don't want to understand why this is going to be allowed and whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
voice what you can, however you can, while staying compliant in your own life. Nikki, do you have anything?
Yeah, no, and I get what you mean by high note because yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm not.
These
We can't leave them low.
liberties are not
Yeah.
open or available to.
Yes, all hope is not lost.
Okay.
It's not.
All right.
It is
All
not.
hope is not
That is.
lost.
It is not lost.
I will wait and we will wait and see what occurs. I guess, you know, I'm a stand up for the little guy kind of girl. And so it's just kind of like it's very disheartening to you are leader, right? Of the free world. You're the leader. Oh, is this a do as I say, not as I do type? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm seeing this kind of do as I say, not as I do. I'm seeing you know? And so I understand that I'm a tax professional and so on and so forth. And I myself may be part of what, the system itself. But can you then blame individuals for having a sense of why, what, am I doing this so I can pay to have to create a fund for like what you're playing in my face and telling me that, and basically so I don't know. You're right. I don't want to be the doom and gloom girl. We'll see what
Mhm.
happens. Something different could happen. Something different could happen.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm curious though, honestly speaking, I guess the high note for me is I'm curious to see what happens 5 years from now, 6 years from now.
Mhm.
What do things look like as far
Mhm.
as the tax code is concerned and how people pay taxes and
Mhm.
and if there are any, you know, um, what changes occur with what's happening here? Because, sometimes in order for things to change, the ground must shake. So,
I understand. I will I will defer what I have to say. Maybe we'll talk offline, but I don't I don't necessarily ever believe all hope is lost. So
okay, I got
you know
you.
what I
I got
mean?
you. Yeah,
Um, yeah, that's just
yeah.
what it is. Like it's what can you do? And it's also what can you do within the confines of what you can do? Like that's
And
it.
if you can't pay, and Karina's right. Just do what you need to do, honey.
What can you do? Yeah.
What can you do besides having to do that? Because clearly you will, the repercussions of you not doing what you're supposed to do is
It's a
just,
whole nother ball game,
yeah.
right? Like, because because you tapped in. I was gonna serve it, but since we're here,
Yeah.
like, the thought process of, oh well, the government isn't doing what I want the government to do, so let me go ahead and protest my taxes and go. Like, I'm hearing a lot of that rhetoric of, I'm just gonna go completely exempt. I'm not gonna pay my taxes. We can all do it. We're all just not going to pay our taxes, and we're just gonna automatically well we're gonna be good, like the tax protester. The thing about it is this: there's nothing new under the sun. This is not new in the sense of like people not wanting to pay tax and actively protesting against tax. Ask Wesley Snipes, went to jail. And you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
this whole thing is not new. This process, I think I said one of my tax, my not tax, then my finance professor said that history may not necessarily repeat itself, but it definitely does rhyme. So this is the rhyming. It's a little bit worse because the person who holds the seat is also doing some crazy stuff, right? So that part is new, but the oh yeah, I don't like what the government is doing. I am going to protest. Let's key Boston Tea Party. Like there's this stuff is not new.
Yeah, yeah,
Like on a whole, right? While I understand the sentiment of not paying my taxes because the government isn't doing right and all of this or whatever,
yeah,
I will never ever tell people to go ahead and do that because it is
yeah,
going to mess you up.
yeah, yeah,
These people who are saying, "Oh yeah, go ahead and protest and tax or whatever," you don't know what they're willing to do. They might be willing to go to jail for however many years. Are you? So yes, you can protest and all of that,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Are you willing to do the ramifications of that?
yeah, yeah. I got
And
you.
if you are not, you need to stay your behind in compliance land. And not and because there's just different people. Like there's some
Yeah,
people who
yeah,
are
yeah,
willing and ready and they're able and they're ready to stand 10 toes behind that.
yeah,
I'm protesting, I'm actively protesting. I don't care what nobody says. The IRS is not going to, I will do that jail time.
yeah,
I
yeah,
will pay those fees and those penalties.
yeah,
Is that something that you're willing to do?
yeah,
And if not, go ahead and stay in compliance land.
yeah,
You don't need to be in protest. You don't need to be in tax protest land. You can protest in different ways. You might not want to be in tax process land.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I do. I do. I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We're just on the roller coaster together, like, yeah, y'all, let's do this thing. We're gonna ride this wave and see
That's so
what
funny.
happens, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
but in the meantime, it makes for good entertainment. I will say that much. I am entertained. I'm
I am,
entertained,
I
okay?
don't even know if I'm entertained. I'm seeing things for what it is and I'm moving accordingly. So like moving, yeah, I'm seeing things for what it is and I'm moving accordingly. What do
Mm,
I want for things to be and what do I want for things to
mm,
happen? And then
mm,
am I recognizing and being aware? Because a lot of us aren't aware, right? We're giving you this information and you might not even watch shows. You might not even see how this affects you. And you might just be going about your day in life. And I believe that people should still go about their day in life. I'm not saying that, but you need to be aware. You need to know what's happening and what's going on so that you can, like I said, you can maneuver and move accordingly.
mhm.
So that's it. That's all I got to say.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens. I made my prediction.
Yeah.
I might go on couch. No, I'm just joking. Sorry, y'all.
Oh gosh.
I'm not
Can't
promoting.
can't stand couch.
I
You don't want
know
to,
it's insane.
just
Karina wore her hair down today, you guys. Who voted for that?
that's funny. But yeah, can't
But
stand them. That's a whole other
yeah.
conversation with the gambling stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. That's insane. But you guys, I encourage you guys, especially to read the judge's order. Um, I thought it was well written. I'm not a lawyer. And nobody probably cares about what my opinion is, but I actually enjoyed reading her order because I was like, oh, I understand what she's saying here. This makes absolute and complete sense.
Yes.
Not because of who the person is, but because of her response, what she was responding to and how concise it was. I was like, oh, this makes complete sense to me. Um, but we both want to thank you guys for watching. Again, we are here every other Friday. And let's see, Karina, anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Nope, that's
Bye.
it. All right, I'm done. All right, you guys. Well, we will see you guys next Friday. The Friday after next. Please watch, share, subscribe. If you have any comments, leave those there. If you are looking for tax resolution assistance, I encourage you to reach out to Kerrina at KAKE Financial, schedule a consultation. For those of you who are looking for assistance, you're looking for a tax preparer, please feel free to visit to download the 6 tips for choosing your tax preparer. It does give you some information that will help you in choosing your tax professional, or some questions that you can ask them as you perform and do that research, okay? Find somebody to work with. If you would like to work with me, again, visit togbaandassociates.com and schedule a consultation. All right. Other than that, we will see you guys 2 weeks from now. All right. Bye.